We're here on Gulloden Moor. Before we talk about the battle itself, Ross, tell us why it happened.
Well, it's quite a complicated story, but to simplify things a bit, it was essentially the last battle fought in British soil in what was a civil war between two claimants to the British throne. And the winner, the House of Hanover, is effectively the house that's on the throne today. Queen Elizabeth is the descendant of George II, whose son, the Duke of Cumberland, fought and won Culloden.
What happened to the losers, and who were the losers?
Well, the loser was Bonnie Prince Charlie and his army composed of Jacobites. And Bonnie Prince Charlie left Scotland, ended up in Rome where he was born, and died dissolute and drunken at the age of 68 in 1788. And the Jacobites, his supporters, they were harried from glen to glen by the victorious government army, and from Culloden we really date the beginning of the Highland clearances, which is why there are so many Scots in places like America and Canada and Australia today.
So, Ross, what happened during the battle? When did it start? What was the first attack?
Well, effectively it started sort of between 12 and 1, and it was all over in just over an hour. And what happened was that the Jacobites had marched back after the abortive night attack in the government army, and they all slumped down here on the moor because this is where they started off. The government army, knowing what had happened, decided that this was the opportunity. So they marched and they started forming up when they discovered the Jacobite army at rest here. And what happened? The Jacobites started firing their cannons first, but the government had a far superior artillery train based along the front line here, and it started pounding the Jacobite lines. First of all with round shot, and then with grape shot, which is the 18th century equivalent of an anti-personnel device. They'd pack anything down the mouth of a cannon, broken glass, broken bottles, chains, nails, you name it, and they fired it off at the Jacobites, and it would scatter and do terrible damage. And the reason it was able to do terrible damage was Bonnie Prince Charlie didn't give the order to attack. He was waiting for Cumberland to attack, and Cumberland, realising this, decided, well, I'll let my cannons do their damage first, and then I'll mop up. And by the time Bonnie Prince Charlie and his commanders realised this was going on, there'd been terrible damage done to the front row of the Jacobite army, and he'd lost many men without even a shot being fired. So in effect, the battle was almost over before it began.